Good morning, everyone. We're Minh-Đăng, Trung-Dũng, Ngọc Hà, and Thu from Group 6. Today, we'd like to share our findings on Alaska and the famous dog breed Alaskan Malamute. In the first part of this video, I'll be talking about Alaska's geography. The state has a total land area of approximately 365 million acres. Alaska is the largest state in the Union, accounting for 1/5 of the total area of the lower 48 states. Well, despite being the largest state, Alaska has the lowest population density of any state, with 1.3 people per square mile. Alaska is located in the northwestern part of the North American continent, bordered only on the east by Canada. It's one of only two states in the United States that's not bordered by another state. Alaska has more ocean coastline than the rest of the United States combined. Alaska is bounded to the east by Yukon and British Columbia, Canada, to the south by the Gulf of Alaska and the Pacific Ocean, to the west by Russia, the Bering Sea, the Bering Strait, and the Chukchi Sea, and to the north of the Beaufort Sea and the Arctic Ocean. Next, let's talk about the climate of Alaska. It's determined by average temperatures and precipitation received statewide over many years. The extratropical storm track runs along the Aleutian Island chain, across the Alaska Peninsula, and along the coastal area of the Gulf of Alaska, which exposes these parts of the state to a large majority of the storms crossing the North Pacific. The climate in Juneau and the southeast panhandle is a mid-latitude oceanic climate, similar to Scotland or Haida, Hawaii, in the southern sections, and a subarctic oceanic climate in the northern parts. The climate in south-central Alaska is a subarctic climate due to its short, cool summers. The climate of the interior of Alaska is best described as extreme, and is the best example of a true subarctic climate, as the highest and lowest recorded temperatures in Alaska have both occurred in the interior. The climate in the extreme north of Alaska is an Arctic climate with long, cold winters and cool summers where snow is possibly year-round.
So where and how Alaskan Malamute originate from? Let's find out. Modern researchers assume that about 2,000 to 3,000 years ago, great migrations occurred where people from East Asia moved through the Bering Strait into North America. On their journeys, they were accompanied by dogs, which they used as led dogs, hauling freight and helping with hunting. The people who moved to North America and Alaska were the ancestors of the Inuit tribe, the Malamutes, who settled from Point Barrow to Kotzebue Sound. For centuries, they lived here without external interference. People and dogs have adjusted themselves to survive in the most difficult condition in a rough and raw land that was for at least 9 months a year covered by snow and ice. And here developed the Alaskan Malamute, the oldest indigenous Native American dog, not bred for beauty according to a certain standard, but suited to pull heavy sleds, able to serve as a hunting dog, and with the resistance to survive harsh climatic conditions. The majority of Inuit tribes consisted of people of short stature, with very tiny hands and feet. An exception was the tribe of Malamutes, which were considerably taller. They were described by both Russians as well as by later explorers as a highly developed, hard-working tribe that has exceptionally beautiful dogs who stood by their kind and gentle nature versus man. It is also reported that the Malamutes treated and cared better for their dogs than other Polynesians, who coped often harshly and even cruelly with their dogs. Towards the end of the 19th century, during the gold rush, demand for sled dogs was so great that many prospectors mixed their sled dogs with other breeds, making purebred Alaskan Malamute almost extinct. Due to their isolated existence, the dogs of Malamutes remained pure and the race was saved. So, what makes Alaskan Malamute Alaskan? Maybe they from Alaska? Let's find out with Huen.
So, after hearing from Mingdang, I am sure that you have gained some information about the history and origins of Alaskan Malamute. And in this part, we will give you some more details about special traits of these dogs. The Alaskan Malamute is one of the most outgoing, energetic, and lively of all dog breeds, and they are also smart dogs with a strong streak of mischief. It is the breed's combinations of physical and temperamental traits that makes them so well suited to live in cold, harsh climates and being able to work effectively in such places. First of all, Alaskan Malamute has double coat. Because Alaska has a long winter but short summer, this double coat here really helps them survive in such extreme weather. The top layer of the coat is a very coarse and thick insulated undercoat that is soft and dense and designed to hold heat. The calf hair in the top layer of the coat keep out the wind, rain and snow in the winter. Therefore, these dogs can survive temperatures that reach -70 degrees thanks to their adaptations to those kinds of conditions. As we already mentioned, these dogs have to develop double coats to insulate them properly from extreme conditions of Alaskan wilderness. Having such thick coats means that they have a huge amount of hair that they shed twice a year during shedding seasons, in fall and in spring. The surprising thing is that these dogs shed extremely quickly, and at the times they will blow their whole undercoat. Living in extreme weather like in Alaska, Alaskan Malamute has an efficient digestive system that allows them to gain the maximum nutrients from their meals and converts it into useful energy. It also supports this dog in sledding for long distance in the winter. Additionally, Alaskan Malamute paws are a little large compared to the body, dense fur running right along the leg, covering the top of the foot, as well as thick lumped fur between the toes, which help protect the feet against snow and other cold and harsh surfaces. It also reduces body heat flows through the feet and helps the dog to walk on snow and other infirm surfaces. Small eyes and ears surrounded with fur to avoid heat loss is also a special point of Alaskan Malamute. The Alaskan Malamute is a very lively dog that naturally needs to spend a lot of time on the move playing and exercising. Within a domestic setting, they need long varied daily walks and the abilities to run and play freely off the lead. Not only are dogs of the breed are very lively and capable of running very fast, but they also have excellent endurance and turn their foot into slow relief fuels for energy to support them for whole days on the go. This point is matched with the chase we have mentioned earlier.
Talk about the traits that make Alaskan adaptable and become an icon of the last frontier. Now, I bring up facts about this breed that you might not know. The first fact is about Alaskan Malamute vocalization. One myth about Malamute and northern dogs in general is that they are quiet and rarely bark. When a Malamute does vocalize, it is often appears to be talking by vocalizing a woo woo sound. Talking implies they are having a conversation with you, and they seem to think they are. The second fact about this breed is related to the two biggest wars in the world. As mentioned earlier, Alaskan Malamute is usually used as sled dogs. But did you know that during the World War I, 450 Alaskan Malamute were shipped to France to deliver supplies to French army troops isolated in mountain outposts. In the Second World War, many sled dogs, including many of the field-registered Malamute, were loaned for war duty. After the war, the same dogs were used on an expedition to Antarctica. Unfortunately, due to some bureaucratic decision, they were chained to an
Endlessly
ice floe
helpful to
and
their human
destroyed
friends,
by an
Alaskan
explosive
Malamute
charge. Were also a part of the historic Serum Run, or we can call it the Great Race of Mercy. In the winter of 1925, a diphtheria epidemic threatened to break out in Nome, a small town in Alaska. The entire batch of the drug at the local hospital had been expired, while the replacement shipment failed to arrive before the posts were frozen in winter. Curtis Wedge, the only doctor in Nome, sent a telegram asking for help. And on the 2nd of February 1925, a transport of diphtheria antitoxin by dog sled relayed across the U.S. territory of Alaska by 25 musher and about 150 sled dogs across 674 miles in 5.5 days, saving the small town of Nome and the surrounding communities from developing epidemic of diphtheria. Both the mushers and their dog were portrayed as heroes in the newly popular medium of radio and received headline coverage in newspapers across the United States. Balto, the led sleed dog of the final strait into Nome, became the most famous canine celebrity of the area after Rin Tin Tin, and his statue is a popular tourist attraction in both New York City Central Park and downtown Anchorage, Alaska. So that's the end of our presentation about Alaska as well as the Alaskan Malamute, the state iconic animal. We hope this can help you recall more about this area. Thank you so much for your interest and attention.